Welcome back to the Jersey Oddcast, where local news meets a little chaos, a whole lot of commentary, and just enough odd to keep things interesting. Featuring Joseph F. Berenato, Gabriel J. Donio, and me, Gina Rullo. And this week we're covering everything from assembly assignments and community events to pop culture, local headlines, and one New Jersey shipwreck that literally helped create the Coast Guard. We've got updates from around town, an interview with a local resident about a proposed development, a full community calendar, an odd poll about Valentine's Day, and a fun odd fact. So grab your coffee or your tea, settle in, and let's get right into it because in New Jersey, the news doesn't stop and neither do we. So, coming up is the Main Street Hammonton third annual gala. It's a celebration of community and giving. It's going to be Saturday, April 18th at Eastland Golf Club in Vineland. It's a cocktail hour, dinner and dancing from 6 to 10, open bar, a photo booth, a cigar bar, and more. There's going to be a four-course meal. Tickets are $150 each or $1,400 for a table of 10. Gabe, you and I have been to a lot of galas over the years.
Yes, we have. Absolutely. And we've had them in different places, in town, out of town.
Philly, Atlantic City, we've been everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's been balls and galas and things like that. And look, it's a good cause. I think people should be supportive, and it's great for the downtown area and Main Street and Hammonton. I do think that there's been a lot of discussion about where do you have these galas when you have them. And before we get into that, I just want to say I think it's great that they're doing it, and I think it's great that they're supporting the cause. I do think that for years there was a term shop locally, and I think that term applied to a lot of the downtown merchants and restaurants. And I think there's a certain element of that when you have your event, if you're specifically an organization that is the thrust is to get people to support local businesses, I think that you have to consider a local site. I do, just my opinion. I don't know what the two of you think, but that, in my opinion, I think it could have been held in Hammonton.
You are not alone in that opinion. I agree. There are certainly venues in the town of Hammonton who can handle such an affair. If I'm not mistaken, the first Main Street Gala was at a local venue. I don't know why it went out of town, but when the whole thrust of your organization is to keep local dollars local, like you said, then it would logically follow that if you're having a gala to raise money for this organization, you would also want to keep it local. Now, April 18th, okay, you're starting to get into wedding season, but you've got plenty of time to plan these things in advance. So I agree. I think that of all organizations within the town of Hammonton, I think this one in particular should stay within the town of Hammonton with its celebratory functions like this.
I'm going to be a little bolder and say you should stay within 08037.
Okay, we'll take that
That's
too.
fine.
I know that there's a couple good venues that you can have it at. I, as someone who is a past president of Main Street Hammonton, who sat on the board for about 14 years, I don't think I would have ever voted for it to leave the town of Hammonton to approve that. Even leaving 08037, but seeing over the years the number of events that have gone to outside venues outside of Hammonton proper, but still 08037. I think Vineland is a bridge too far. It's a little too far away. There are ways to do it where they could have had it even in the downtown if they wanted to have a gala night to really show off the downtown. They could have done it. It's tents, it's flooring, it's maybe a little bit more money. They could have done it. There are venues within the town itself where they could have had it at. And there are two venues outside of the town of tax district, but still where they could have had it too.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine Vineland having a gala in any other town other than Vineland.
No, me neither.
Yeah, I mean, if someone said Vineland is going to have
Their
an
dandelion dinner
event,
or whatever it is.
whatever it is, in Hammonton, I think it would raise eyebrows in Vineland. I don't want to say this is just a Hammonton mentality. I think that people want these things to be local for a variety of reasons. One is to support the local business community, yes. but also it's less driving, it's less
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yeah.
That's a factor as well.
So I
Yeah.
think it's a fair criticism that they're receiving. And I think that they maybe need to think for next year if they're going to have it again. What can we do better? Or explain why we're going to Eastland. Hey, we're having it in Eastland because cousin is this and they're giving us such a break. There's no way for us not to have it there. I think there needs to be a level of transparency, especially when you're going to then come to a lot of Hammonton businesses and say, hey, we need donations for XYZ event. Can you support us? But you're not coming to them for your biggest fundraising event or a
Right.
big fundraising event, maybe not your biggest.
Yeah. No, absolutely with all of that.
We wish them a lot of luck. We hope they have a good time. If you ever want to hear my idea, Main Street Hamilton, for the ball on Bellevue is a blue jean ball idea, happy to share it. I can resurrect it from 25 years ago when I first talked about it.
Do I look sufficiently horrified at the thought of a blue jean ball? Those words don't go together.
It's a whole thing. There was a whole movement like 25 years ago. Instead of having to get everybody dressed up, you would have a really nice night out, but everyone doesn't have to go spend $500-$600 on a gown, a
Shows
tuxedo, and all that.
shows a man who likes to wear an ice cream white tuxedo
I know.
jacket like he's Rick
Yeah.
Blaine in Casablanca.
I'm still amazed that more people we're of the age now. Go buy a tuxedo. You can get one for $100 on the internet.
On the interweb.
The
Yeah.
internet. Just cracked the technology, did you, Joe?
Yeah.
I
that
hear
worldwide.
We hear you. Let's not get hung up on the blue jean ball. Again, let's if they do have any questions or maybe has some interest, there's an idea there. But I also would say we wish them the best of luck. And with this event, it's just a question of local and
And
trying to keep
optics.
things local. Right.
Speaking of local, when you're looking to make a move, whether it's residential or commercial, there's one realtor to call, and that's Phil Carr.
That's right, Gina. If you're looking to buy or sell your home or commercial property in South Jersey, call Phil Carr, owner of Crowley and Carr Real Estate. Crowley and Carr is the best place in town to find the best place in town. Call them at 609-561-0505 or go to Facebook or Instagram.
Gabe, Assemblyman Angelozzi has announced his committee assignments for the coming year. Can you tell us about it?
That's correct, Gina. And those committee assignments were announced on February 6th by Assemblyman Anthony Angelozzi. He said he was excited to share the committees he'll be working on this legislative session, and those are health, military and veterans affairs, and public safety and preparedness. Assemblyman Angelozzi represents New Jersey's 8th legislative district, which includes Hammonton and the surrounding area. And that's a feather in his cap to have those 3 committees. And he looks like he says he's ready to get to work.
Excellent.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited for him. I think this is a good opportunity. There's some similarities there, like first responders. It sounds like he's got given those 3 committees and not rather than like infrastructure. And you would think maybe he would have been given education considering his,
I would have thought
professional
that.
background.
Yeah.
The first responders, I like that he's going to be doing that and that those are the people that take care of us. So curious to see how he's going to take care of them and what comes up next. And this is the 222nd legislature. So it's an exciting time to be in state government with the 250th of the nation as well. So there's a lot of good things there, and we wish him a lot of luck.
The semi-quincentennial.
I'm never using that word, Joe.
Yeah, that's it. We're only it's amazing to see all these different numbers. The 222nd legislature. I don't know if there's a catchy name for that, like
I don't know. Yeah.
semi-quincentennial, but or sesquicentennial or any of the other ennials. But it's great to see the new assemblyman diving right in.
Yeah.
Yeah, wish him a lot of luck. Joe, there was some sad news that came out at the end of January from Folsom.
There was. According to reports, a Folsom man died after his house caught fire on the afternoon of January 27th. State police said that the house's 77-year-old Carl Underwood on South River Drive was already filled with smoke when state police and firefighters responded to reports of a structure fire shortly after 5 p.m. Underwood was transported to an area hospital for treatment where he later succumbed. His obituary notes that services will be held at a later date. According to reports, no one else was injured, and the cause is under investigation.
That's very sad. It's just a horrible way to pass away, and to say that's what happened is just, it's tragic.
Yeah.
This time of year, we always remind people, and not saying we don't know the reason for this fire, but this time of year, a lot of people are indoors. A lot of people have fires in their homes or they have space heaters. Just be careful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair advice, Gabe. Thank you. Coming up, we have Caitlin Collins coming on the show. She's going to be talking about a proposed development. And I know that Gabe, Joe, and I all needed to get out our glasses to read what the plans are for this project.
That's right. And if we do get those glasses, we want to get them at Hammonton Family Eye Care. See Hammonton Family Eye Care for routine and medical eye care for all ages. From glasses to contacts to eye exams and more, visit Hammonton Family Eye Care at Peachtree Plaza, 80 South Whitehorse Pike in Hammonton. Call 609-567-7479 or go to hammontonfamilyeyecare.com.
Welcome back, and we are excited to have with us Caitlin Collins. She is a property owner near the corner of Basin Road and Whitehorse Pike, which is the site of a proposed development that is coming before the planning board, expected to be March 4th, originally scheduled for February. Now, March. Joe, can you tell us a little bit about the project before we have our discussion?
Yeah, we had discussed this last week or the week prior, I think, but to refresh everyone's minds, the applicant is for use variance and site plan application through Triple Net Investments. I'm not even going to try that Roman numeral, and RCM Properties, and it is for a proposed strip commerce and warehouse project with 10,800 office square feet, 15,223 retail square feet, and 158,090 warehouse square feet. And this is proposed to be at 129, 165, and 175 Whitehorse Pike and 130 and 50 Basin Road. For those of you who are interested, it is block 4601, lots 1, 2, 4, 4.01, and 4.02. So, big project.
Yeah, sizable. I was fine with the office and the retail, and then you whammied with the warehouse.
That's
It's definitely for that area, not to the scale of everything else in that area, including
Yeah.
Atlanticare, which, even though Atlanticare has developed that area significantly, it's still to scale with the rest of the buildings and different things. There's going to be some discussion, I think.
yeah.
Caitlin, you're representing right now some of the neighbors. What is the feeling? How were you all notified? Did you guys all get together, have a meeting at like, your houses? What happened?
I actually, so legally, I think they have to notify people up to a certain distance from the actual project itself, from what I'm learning. And I've learned a lot in a very short amount of time about how these projects are run. One of my neighbors who's closer would essentially be almost directly across the street. She called me up and she said, "Hey, they're having a meeting next week. Can you show up?" And we dove into everything from there. I want to say she did almost all of the footwork. She went to the town, she looked at the plan, she really did a lot of research before just making up her own decision of whether or not this was good or bad. It's not our street woke up one day and said, absolutely not, nothing's going up there. We're not unrealistic people, but when you actually start looking at everything, you realize that this is something that is so off scale. The amount of impact, I don't think we can fully understand it. So we are all very stressed about this. We're very nervous, all of the synonyms of such, but that's where we are. So we started a neighborhood-wide group chat that we're all staying informed in. I know my neighbor directly across the street from me had no idea of the building at all. Like she wasn't even aware that anything was even proposed there. So there's just a lot of information right now going back and forth between everyone, keeping everyone up to date, really trying to figure out what this building is going to be in their idea and making informed decisions upon that right now.
What would you say is the biggest concern that the neighbors have about this project?
I think everyone thinks a little differently based off of their own priorities. I have 2 small children. My kids are 9 and 5. And so off the top of my head, I think traffic. We live on a very relatively quiet, small street, which usually things don't happen, but in recent times have. But I was driving down my road the other day, and here heading towards me came a red Hammonton the red public trucks that do like public service water. And I actually had to physically pull over because we just weren't all going to fit together. So my biggest concern is like, if I have to pull over for just a truck of that size, what is about to happen to this street? And really, what are we looking at there? I know a lot of my neighbors are saying, what's happening with all the pollution that's going to come from this? The water, the air. I think everyone has a different concern based off of whatever priority it is. Everything, the lights, the noise, the pollution, the traffic, even just what it's going to be used for. I'm not sure everyone's aware, but it doesn't have a tenant. So we can't even make a base decision off of what is going in here. We can't even say, oh, but it's to help, I don't know, stray animals and whatever. We don't know what's
Or storing
going in
dangerous things. You don't even know
Right.
that because
Are
it's being
we
proposed.
storing chemicals? What is going in? But we don't even have a definite answer on that. And it's very unfair to us as people who are going to be sharing this space with them to not even have that allowed to be our knowledge.
Looking at, go ahead, I'm sorry, Gabe.
Caitlin, can you describe the neighborhood a little bit to people who might not know it in terms of residences, what type of residences, and how long people have lived in that neighborhood? Like, how long have you lived there?
I'm a newcomer. Lived in Hammonton my whole life, born and raised on Bellevue, but met my husband a couple years ago, and I said, you're out of your mind if you think I'm ever leaving town. And he agreed. So we built our house about 5 years ago on Basin. Part of what really drew us in, we had a couple plots of land that we were offered that we could purchase. And we were really brought into Basin just from everything. We have farmland all around us. It's beautiful. We have the Pinelands are right in the back. We had to follow very strict regulations when we built our house. And we followed them all. They weren't unrealistic at all. And you have in the back of my house, there's streams. There's so much wildlife back there. We see deers in our backyard. We have foxes. We have all this kind of amazing wildlife around us. And then you have neighbors. My neighbor has been living there her entire life. Her entire life she's lived there. And she lives next door to her mother, who has lived in that farmhouse her entire life. These are major Hammonton lifelong residents that are now faced with a huge possible consequence of living where they live. And I think it's crazy to think about. We do have the White Horse Pike, which we're close to. Right off of that, at least on that, there's the Atlantic Air, but then there's a large area of blueberries. And then you go right into single family homes. I know the first home that would be directly next to the proposed building, they have small kids that live there. I know it for a fact. I watch them. I pick up at ECEC over at the preschool with them. We are a small town street. Like it's textbook what you would think.
I'm looking at some of the things that have been posted online about the variances that they need, and it does feel like out of character for that area. The maximum building height, I believe the requirement says it can't be more than 35 feet. They're looking to go 44.69 feet.
Yep.
So that's almost 10 feet taller.
Yes.
The maximum footprint area is 12,000 square feet. They're looking for 169,000.
Yes.
Maximum building width is 100 feet. They're going for 608.5 feet.
Yep.
Maximum lot depth is 160 feet, and they're proposing 635 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's not like we are talking about going over slightly. We're going over quite a bit.
Yes. It's from what I understand, I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm learning about all this in a very short amount of time. This was never anything that I really dove headfirst into figuring out how our building's built. I don't know. But from what I understand is like a variance should be used for a much smaller scale of an allowance. Basically, how it was described to me was perhaps you have a section of town where every house has to have at least 1 acre. And then you're left with this one odd plot of land it's not an acre. We can't make it an acre. Are we still allowed to put an excise house on it. Does that work for everyone? And that's what these variances are supposed to be used for, at least as how it was explained to me. The variants proposed are this isn't a variance. This is a slaughter to the town laws and the zoning requirements for this space. This is not, hey, we want to build. I know you said a 12,000 square foot building. Our architect came up with 13,000. Is that okay? We're talking 14 times the size of what should be going in there. And it's really not a realistic trade-off here, if that makes sense.
Right.
I don't disagree. And I believe you guys have looked into what is the area zoned for. It's the Gateway District. Is that correct?
Yes. So Gateway is supposed to be a literal gateway into a residential area. The rest of our street is completely residents. I think off the top of my head, it's like RR on a map. I could be wrong. So the gateway is supposed to be a small retail option. So the town, let me pull it up actually. The town master plan that the town adopted and goes through says permitted uses are local retail, and then they give examples of what could be used there. And it's banks, offices, daycares, private schools, like some small takeout or restaurant. That's what they're looking to put there. Something that says, here's a nice little piece of retail. Think the Golden Feather, right? Here's this retail. And then it leads eventually into houses. But it works for everyone. It works for the community. It works for the residents. It works for everyone. And that's what this zone is supposed to be used for. The building itself is, I think, listed as a specialty industrial building on paperwork, which would not fit into these qualifications. So that's one of our biggest issues, is that this building isn't even zoned for this. It's not even, I don't know if I should say legal. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but it's that this is not where this is supposed to go.
Yeah, and I think that's fair because I would say, Gabe, maybe your memory's better. It's about 15-ish years ago, the town redid their codes. They did form-based codes, and they said, this is what this is, and this is what this district is, and they really wanted to be cognizant of those things, and that's when they created the Gateway District. And something that is light industrial needs to go in the light industrial zone, basically. And
Right. And
that was the feeling.
I think the idea that I recall about form-based codes that really comes down to what we're talking about now in this real world example was that it wasn't just about what is the use anymore. It was, what does the building look like? What does the use look like when it's a physical, three-dimensional constructed
Structure.
building and structure? And I think that's what form-based codes shifted toward and said, it's not just enough to say we have to look at what the use is. We have to look at what is it going to look like and what is the impact going to be in terms of what Caitlin just said. You're talking about a gateway that flows then into a residential neighborhood, and you want it to scale. And I think that's what the form-based codes were put in place to try and protect the character of the community, really. And so that's the question at stake here when you're talking about not just the use, but what the building is going to look like and what's its impact on that neighborhood. So.
Yeah, that's a great point, Gabe. Why don't we take a quick break and talk about another great business that is on the White Horse Pike, and that is our friends at the Silver Coin Diner just up the street from Basin Road.
That's right. Located in the heart of South Jersey between Philadelphia and Atlantic City, the Silver Coin Diner is a family-owned restaurant. It has served South Jersey since 1982. It gleams like a 50s diner on the outside and is warm and inviting on the inside. The Silver Coin is famous for serving quality food at family-friendly prices. This rock star of a diner is on the cutting edge of restaurant trends, constantly updating its menu and introducing new healthy specials. Everyone at the Silver Coin is eager to please, so if you are in the area or passing through, stop by their location at 20 South White Horse Pike in Hammonton and let them treat you like family. Contact the Silver Coin Diner at 609-561-6974 or visit their website at silvercoindiner.net.
And sometimes you need to separate your properties, and the best way to do that is to get a good fence, and we recommend calling Master Wire.
Yes, we do, because for more than 40 years, Masterwire Manufacturing Fence Company has been providing the South Jersey and tri state areas with residential and commercial fence supplies and services. Whether you're looking for quality products that do it yourself or are in need of a trustworthy fencing company to install your fence, they've got you covered. Masterwire Manufacturing Fence Company provides the highest quality products and customer service to each and every person who walks through their doors or gives them a call. Contact Masterwire at 609 567 1616 or visit their website at masterwirefence.net.
Going back to the discussion, a large warehouse structure does not seem to be the appropriate fit for the Gateway District, and it should be in the other zones. When you bring up the traffic issue, the width of the road, are we going to have to then see that Basin Road widened? You mean to accommodate all that? How does that affect property ownership? There's now new easements created. There's just a lot of things that could trickle down. Has that been discussed within your neighborhood group?
Yes. So, from what I understand, it has already been acknowledged that you can't actually turn a tractor trailer down Basin from the pike without having to jostle. Like I said before, I've had to have people back up when they were on getting ready to turn onto the pike and I'm trying to turn and we all just move around each other. Everyone's very aware that it's a small road. So, from what I can understand on the plans, like I said, not a master engineer by any sorts, but I think the plan is to actually eliminate the entrance to Basin how it is now and shift it over to the towards the proposed building and widen it from there. So essentially the end of Basin Road where it hits the pike now will cease to exist. That would become, I don't know if it would stay asphalt. I don't know if they plant grass. I'm not really sure, but that's from what I can understand. What the plans look like is demolishing our end of our road and recreating it to make more space so that these trucks can get in.
And I guess that would affect how we all access, let's say, Atlanticare, because I know that when I'm coming into Atlanticare, I sometimes go in through Basin Road and then make
Yes.
the left.
Yes, we did. I spoke to a few people over at Atlanticare who agreed that this is not the best idea. We spoke to a couple people over at Atlanticare who are apprehensive and nervous about the fact that this is an emergency building. This isn't just, yeah, there's physicians, there's appointments, but in the case of an actual emergency, which I'm well aware of, the amount of what needs to go in, it's not, in our opinion, it's not really effective to have that across the street and that traffic and that possible, you're talking about in a true emergency, minutes counting. And I don't think any one person is going to sit there and say that those minutes should be just, oh, who cares? No one's going to sit there and say in a life or death true emergency situation that we should have to sit there and wait for the tractor trailers to move out of the way.
Ultimately, as we're coming up on this meeting in March, and you guys are as neighbors talking about this, what do you want to see from the town and from the planning board? As
the ultimate outcome would be to have the warehouse completely shut down. No, sorry, you're not allowed to build that here. That's not what this is zoned for. That's not appropriate usage of land. And to have it be finite as well. We don't want to have to revisit this every so many. I think the first time they put up a sign was probably about 2 years ago. We don't want to have to keep revisiting this over and over again. What if we make the warehouse this way? What if we wait? No. At the end of the day, a warehouse is not appropriately placed on this land. We are not, there's so many things you could do with that land. You want to build more single family homes? I would love to have kids next door. I would love more kids. I'll take any of them. We'll have a whole party at my house. Fine. There's so many other things that do make sense, and that doesn't. And I think to us to live in this constant stress bubble of, oh, what's happening over there or what's going on over there, that would be the ultimate goal. Is it realistic? I don't know. Like I said, I'm all new to this. I don't know how these things work. I don't know if it's, oh, if you do this, oh, if you do this. We hope not. But it's all very, very new. So that would be the ultimate goal. That's pretty much it.
I think that's fair. I think this is a really interesting test of the new administration that's in office for the town council, because this is the first divisive issue that we're seeing. It's pretty early into the administration, and we're a month in, and this will be 2 months in when the time it comes before the planning board. But are we looking at what is in the best use for the town, or are we looking at what's in the best use for the property owner?
Right.
That's the question.
Right.
Have you ever attended or watched a planning board meeting? Do you know what to expect?
No, I am so nervous.
Okay.
I'm nervous right now, guys, and I'm just talking to everyone here, but
Yeah.
I'm hoping best.
The way it traditionally goes is once they open the meeting, do the pledge and all that, then they go through whatever applicants are on the agenda that night. If they have a smaller applicant, they'll probably go first. And then this applicant will come before the board, and their professionals will be sworn in, and they will give testimony. That's their lawyer, that's their engineers, that's their planners, and so forth. And they will go over the entire plan and the entire application, what variances they're seeking, why. They'll go through the positive criteria and whatever negative criteria are necessary. And then once they're done giving testimony, then the board's professionals, their engineer and their planner, they will speak from their side about the application. And then members of the public are given a chance to address any concerns which were not addressed in previous testimony. Like the recent Wawa on 54 and Chew, that took 3 meetings because their application was so involved that it got to the point in each meeting where they were afraid that they were going to go past midnight, which you can't do. So
Right.
then they went to a certain point and had a continuance to the next one. And each time the members of the public came to the meeting. And finally, by the third meeting, which was in January,
Yeah.
was when they had a chance to address their concerns. So just that's what you can expect. The applicant will give all of their testimony, all of their professionals, and then the board professionals will respond in kind and go over the application with their concerns and so forth. And then the members of the public can address the board.
Okay.
So
Great information.
it may feel like they're going to try to out information you and bore you out and wear you down, and that is factual.
Yeah. Lucky for them, I have to listen to a 5-year-old tell me about her day, so it's I have to listen to a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well-versed in trying to pay attention to things that otherwise just go whoop.
Yeah,
Fair
because
enough.
that's the one way we've seen them try to dampen the energy is to just drone on about the wetlands and the pinelands and the buffers and like it's going to be this level of asphalt mixed with, and they all talk like this.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
I find it fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe
I mean,
enjoys
you have
all
very
of
few
it.
friends. We know this.
I do. Yeah. Yeah. This is why I have very few friends. Like, come on, let's go to the planning board. No. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
not interested. But it seems they're not going to wait you out. Your group sounds like they are committed to being there and being active in this process. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, with the information that we received just from the proposed variance, and if I do have 1 second, this is what scares us the most. What scares me the most, I should say, is because the building does not have a tenant that they're expecting in there, this can be a 24/7 operation. They say 100 times within their variance. We don't know. Could be 24/7. Could be this. We don't even know how many employees to expect. Is it 1,000? Is it 20? We don't know. But this part was the one that kind of shook me to the core, and it said, and this is verbatim from their typed up proposed variance list, number 11 under that, to expect truck and tractor trailer traffic, emission of noise, glare, and air and water pollution, safety hazards, and anticipated expansion plans, etc., etc. That to me is the biggest red flag that this does not belong here.
Yeah, no one wants truck traffic idling 24/7 behind their house.
Or the pollution, I can't. It's a lot. Like when I start
Yeah.
getting like tense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't want that constantly in the air, the noise, everything.
And that it's right in black and white already. That's what you're saying. You're saying that you read it already.
Oh, yeah, no, that is number 11. That's their proposed variance. That's them pointing out, like, hey, expect this. That's not saying, hey, yeah, we're going to build this, but it could just be something, a small little quaint. They're saying this is what you should expect.
Let's play devil's advocate. Ms. Collins, you live right next to the emergency department. That could be 24/7 with ambulances coming in and out. How do you feel about that?
Ambulances save lives. Are you saving a life? I would just say it like that. Honestly, I'm never going to tell someone in that situation something that obviously has been very effective in my life in recent times of just saying, no, I don't take them all. I'll take them all. I don't care. I'm never going to be. Who could complain about that?
Oh, you never know. People complain about everything. The
Yeah,
sky
that's true.
blue.
That's
Yeah.
true. But let's prioritize that.
I think that's a great point. Okay, so you would like people to come out, hopefully, and join you March 4th, 7 p.m. at Hammonton Town Hall. Is that correct?
Yes, that would be amazing. Hopefully, trying to get together some of the business owners around here just to say how it's going to affect them, Atlantic Care members to say how it's going to affect them, anyone who has a family member who lives down our road, this anything. We're really hoping they can come out and just, even if it's just to come out to understand better what's happening, make it there so that you can make an informed decision. Not everyone's going to agree. We
No.
all know that. But that's what we're
This is
hoping.
great information. You've really put a face on the issue and really humanized it for all of us and all of our listeners out there. So we thank you for that.
Oh, absolutely. I appreciate it. I really, truly appreciate you having me on here.
And if you're planning on heading to the planning board meeting, you might want to bring a snack. So stop over at Bagley Annie's Market.
Yeah.
That's right, Gina. At Bagley Annie's Market, they always say we treat our customers like family with a variety of custom cut meats, farm fresh produce, delicious cheeses, a full deli, and more. Bagley Annie's Market has something for everyone. They are famous for their wide variety of authentic Italian specialty products. Try their Italian bread and rolls, prepared foods, and homemade pasta. Follow their social media for weekly loyalty reward promos. Bagley Annie's Market is located at 417 12th Street in Hammonton. Call 609 561 0693 or visit Facebook and Instagram for more information.
Before you get behind that wheel, or you better make sure that you have insurance. And we suggest calling Michael DeRose of Diversified Insurance.
Yes, and you should see Diversified Insurance for all your commercial and personal insurance needs. They are a value-added firm. They provide unsurpassed service, consult with you to determine your needs, and offer you a choice of insurance plans and programs. They are a value hunter who can find the best combination of coverage, service, and price. Contact them today at 609 567 7771 or visit their website at diversifiedinsuranceofnj.com.
I really appreciate Caitlin coming on the show and explaining their point of view from the residents. It's not happening near where I live, but it's still, her perspective is really valuable, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, good to hear from her.
If something is built in that area, I'm sure the fire department's going to have to learn what's going on there, the 100,000 square foot or whatever it is. And I liked what recently happened with our Hammonton Fire Department was that they got a tour of the new housing development near West End, Joe.
Yeah, according to the Hammonton Fire Department, on the evening of February 4th, firefighters took part in a familiarization tour and pre-planning discussion for the new townhomes on West End Avenue built by Lennar and which have been a frequent topic of discussion on the Oddcast. The department extended a special thank you to Lieutenant J.R. Valerio, who also serves as construction manager for Lennar, and he coordinated the opportunity, and they thank him for sharing valuable insights. The weekend prior, actually, members of the department also coordinated with firefighters from Mullica Township and Alloway Fire Company to take part in and complete ice cold water rescue operations and technician training on North Myrtle Street. According to the department, this intensive course focused on preparing responders for real-world cold water and ice emergencies through both classroom instruction and hands-on scenarios, including self-rescue and shore-based techniques, go ice rescue operations, effects of cold water on victims, use of specialized ice rescue equipment, and scenario-based on-ice rescue exercises. And there are plenty of photographs on Facebook of members of the department in ice and cold water.
Sounds awful.
It's amazing to see.
Yeah.
Training was provided by instructors by the Gloucester County Fire Academy.
Very nice. I'm glad that they're doing it, but I'm just glad it's not me.
No, it just goes to show you the lengths that they'll go to make sure we're safe. And I think that's just what it's all about. It's a preventative measure But what a sacrifice. You want to get in that water in this kind of weather?
That is a level of dedication that is simply admirable.
Yeah.
There's no other word for it. It's admirable.
Yep.
And then the Hammonton Police Department announced which officers will be going on the Unity Tour this year. Gabe?
That's correct. Several of the officers will be participating in the police unity tour, according to the Hammonton Police Department announcement made on February 6th. It marks the first time in more than a decade that Hammonton has had a team represented in the unity tour. The police unity tour is an annual bicycle ride in which law enforcement officers from across the country ride to Washington, D.C. to honor the men and women who have died in the line of duty. The ride raises funds for the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial and helps ensure that the sacrifice of our fallen heroes is never forgotten. Our officers here in the Hammonton Police Department are currently raising money to support their participation in this meaningful event, and they're grateful for the tremendous support they've already received from the community. They wanted to thank the sponsors, which include All Vinyl Fencing, A&R Fencing Guide Rail, Action Auto Body, Tucko Turf Farm, Crowley and Carr, Johnco Auto Body. And they said if you're interested in donating or would like more information, please contact Sergeant Amendalia, Detective Brown, Patrolman Verame, Patrolman Ramirez, Patrolman Shibilia, or email teamhammonton@gmail.com. And they thank everyone who helped them honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice and for continuing to support the Hammonton Police Department.
Yeah, and this ride will be happening in May, according to the Chief Friel. So again, you can see them you can see someone like riding through town. There'll be a lot of pictures on Facebook. And it's a nice event. There's something very much moving about it that these guys are riding to DC on their bikes to get there. And
Yeah.
I think in 2024, I read that they donated $2.2 million to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund.
Wow.
It's just a wonderful thing. And I think the slogan is "Ride for those who died," and that's the trademark slogan. So that's just a really meaningful statement.
Yeah. I mean, I can't believe it's been that long since we had one before.
A full team. Like I think we've
Yeah.
had one officer here or there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, this is a whole team. And it's admirable that they want to take part in something that goes far beyond the borders of our community and reaches out to a lot of just a nationwide event.
Yeah.
yeah. So we are excited to see it happen and look forward to when it happens in May. And Lord knows the weather will be better for them. So we're excited for that.
God willing.
Yeah. As you're planning another project around your home, take a look at your sanitation needs. I was talking about your septic systems, and if you think you need to be replaced, or maybe you're building a new property that has septic, think about calling DeMeglio.
Yeah. DeMeglio Septic and Quality Sanitation are here for a variety of services, including septic pump out, grease trap service, high pressure jetting, portable toilets, and more. Call 609-561-3597 or go to DeMeglioSeptic.com for DeMeglio Septic, or call 609-561-4666 for quality sanitation. Experience the DeMeglio difference, a promise of superior service, quality, and reliability.
Thank you. Gabe, last week the Olympics started. I watched the opening ceremony with my mom. It was beautiful, and of course it's in Milan, so the Italians know how to do it right with their style. It was a good time to watch all that. Ralph
Yeah.
Lauren decked out our athletes for the opening ceremonies. It was amazing. Gabe, what can you tell us?
The 2026 Winter Olympics, Gina, in Milan Cortina include figure skating, alpine skiing, snowboarding, ice hockey, so many different sports that have so many different stars in them. And some of those stars for USA, Team USA, include, of course, Ilya Malinin for figure skating. And I believe there's already a gold medal there that he contributed to. We can talk about that in a second. Michaela Schifrin for alpine skiing. She's making her fourth appearance. Chloe Kim, who's making her third games. She's a two-time half-pipe gold medalist. Jordan Stolz for speed skating, great speed skater. Madison Chalk and Evan Bates in figure skating. Hillary Knight for the women's ice hockey team. She's a leader there. Aaron Jackson for speed skating. Jesse Diggins for cross country skiing. and the return of NHL players to the men's hockey tournament for the first time since 2014. So there's a lot to look at and a lot to see. And I know, Gina, you have some notes. There's a nickname, right? Is that right?
I believe his Instagram handle is Quad God because he can do a quadruple axel, which is a very complicated term because the way you start off, the jump is from the wrong angle. So it's really 4.5 rotations. And he's just an amazing jumper, and he's very beautiful when he figure skates. He's got a lot of emotion. But yeah, so that is his Instagram official handle. So it's part of it. It's funny. He laughs about it. I've seen a couple of interviews about it. But he has done an amazing quadruple axel, and I think he is able, according to what I've read, to land 6 quadruple jumps in his performances. So he's broken a lot of records, and he'll be fun to watch for throughout the Olympics and in the future.
I should note at the time of this recording, Lindsey Vonn, of course, had a
Tragic.
horrific crash, and she was listed in stable condition at the time of this recording. And of course, our hearts go out to her. She was trying to compete with a torn ACL and then had just a horrific crash. And that just shows you that these athletes are dedicating their lives to this one moment in time. Do you guys watch the Olympics? I throw this out there. Are you Olympics watchers or no?
The last time I watched the Olympics, I believe the opening ceremony when it was in London.
Oh, the Queen parachuted in.
Yeah, and like when she was escorted in by Daniel Craig as James Bond,
Yeah.
all about that. But I think the last time I actually watched the Olympics was in '92 when the basketball dream team obliterated everybody.
Dominated
Oh yeah,
everybody.
Scottie Pippen, Charles Barkley. I think Michael Jordan was there. Just you had to watch that. But that was the last time I watched some of
You
when
didn't
Michael
watch Nancy
Phelps.
Kerrigan in '94 and all that?
Was that afterwards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I
think
I don't even remember
Yeah.
when they stopped being every 4 years and started to alternate winter and summer.
I think that was 92 to 94.
Okay, because I miss when it was like, okay, it's 1996. This is an Olympic year. This is 2024. This is an Olympic year. And then we alternated every 2 years. It's summer and winter, I guess, for ratings or more money or whatever.
God.
But it was more of an event when it came every 4 years. And I missed that.
I love the Winter Olympics so much. I love watching curling. I have no idea what they're yelling. I'm here for it, though. I have no idea what they're doing. I want to know why that was not a sport in high school when I was there, because I would have totally been on the curling team. I think it's so much fun. I love watching speed skating. There's so much power that those athletes have that they just go around and around. Again, I love figure skating. Always watched it with my mom. Ice dancing. All of that. Ski jumping more than just people skiing downhill. But no, I love watching the Olympics. And of course, like there's hockey and stuff like that. But I'm a big fan of the Olympics. I love watching. It's very good television.
These days, when it's so cold outside, it's a good idea to just huddle around the TV. And if you're not watching like this past weekend, the Super Bowl, you're watching the Olympics and other indoor sports like basketball and hockey. It's the weather seems to be forcing people to be a little more indoorsy these days. Even if you like winter, I think it's tough to be out there when it's 3 below and windy.
And they're in Italy. How amazing is that?
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, but that's like
It's very nice.
It's like it's mountains and snow. That's not real Italy. I know it's real Italy.
It's Milano. It's the fashion capital.
Do I look like that impacts me in the least bit?
No, not with your Jim Parsons impression today.
It's a very fashionable shirt.
Yeah. Find this in Milan.
For the Oddcast.
Besides this weekend being Valentine's Day, which I'm sure we all have great plans for, what events are coming up on the Rocco's Townhouse community calendar?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Gina. And the Rocco's Townhouse community calendar is sponsored by Rocco's Townhouse. Rocco's Townhouse prides themselves on being a spot where everyone can meet and eat. Delicious appetizers, entrees, burgers, and more, along with a full bar and plenty of craft beers on tap. Remember, everyone meets at the Townhouse, 21 North 3rd Street in Hammonton. Call them at 609-561-9384 or visit roccostownhouse.com. And now the Rocco's Townhouse community calendar. Let's take a look at what's coming up around South Jersey. On Friday, February 20th through Sunday, March 1st, the Lavoie Theater presents Shrek the Musical. Bring the whole family for this Broadway favorite, running multiple dates in Millville. Tickets range from $23 to $30 with evening and weekend performances available. On Saturday, February 21st at 6 p.m., head to Williamstown for the Slay and the City Murder Mystery Dinner at Scotland Run Golf Club. It's a cocktail-forward whodunit evening featuring a 4-course dinner, live mystery, and plenty of drama. Costumes encouraged, and yes, the bar will be open. On Friday,
Make me a Cosmo.
On Friday, February 27th at 8 p.m., rock history comes alive at the Landis Theater with Legends of Woodstock, a tribute night honoring Jimi Hendrix and Janis Joplin. 2 iconic artists, one stage, one unforgettable night. Tickets range from $25 to $40. On Saturday, February 28th, experience something a little different in Hammonton with Candlelight, Coldplay, and Imagine Dragons at Cathedral Event Center. This immersive concert features live musicians performing by candlelight in an intimate setting. Shows run about an hour, and seating options are available at multiple price points. And that's your Rocco's Townhouse Community Calendar, your guide to what's happening around our corner of Jersey.
That sounds fun.
I've always been curious about the candlelight concerts because I've seen them advertised all over.
Let's all go back, imagine ourselves 30 years ago. A great movie came out in a genre that I normally don't like, and that was Scream. And I loved that movie, and like it was so well done. And now there's another Scream coming out.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised they're only up to 7, truthfully, in 30 years.
And Neve Campbell's going to be in this one.
Mm-hmm. She skipped the last one, I believe, because of some sort of pay issue. They didn't want to pay her enough money.
Courtney Cox, David Arquette.
What else
I
has
think
he
they
got
figured
going
it
on?
out, Joe. They figured out they needed her. So
Yeah.
I think it's a great thing. It's nostalgia now, but it's also of the moment. People like the Scream movies. They like the whole turning it on its ear. And it still has I think the series still has the ability to surprise. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not going to go to the movie theater and see it, but I will watch it when it comes out on like demand or on HBO or something.
I think I saw the first 3 in theaters. I know I saw the first one and the second one for certain. I think I saw the first 3 on the big screen.
Yeah, I've only probably saw the first one in the movie theater, and I think I saw it like twice in the theater. I really liked it. And then Kevin James is coming out with it's out now, is a new movie called Solo Mio.
I just actually saw this advertised the other night for the first time.
So you are not, because, and I no offense, Gabe, because it's not your thing, but like on TikTok, I kept getting fed this teacher, and I'm like, that's Kevin James. Like, what? It's a no. Hi, this is welcome to Matt Taylor's class or whatever. And I'm like, dude, you're Kevin James. And people are like, isn't this Kevin James? And it's that marketing that's not supposed to be marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So again, very well done. I'm probably not going to go to the movie, but I like the marketing behind it. That's my take on it.
So it's great marketing, but it didn't achieve its goal. In that you're not going to buy a ticket to see the film.
It's too cold to go out anywhere but my house right now.
I'm sure you can stream it eventually.
Yeah.
Gabe, we've enjoyed some Kevin James stuff. We liked him in that movie with Will Smith.
Hitch. He was very good in Hitch, and he was great in Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Okay. Did I see that?
Yeah, I think so.
He was.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying he was great in it.
Yeah,
He's good in it.
He's not saying it's a good movie either. Just that he was good.
I'm not. I'm saying he was good in it. If he wasn't in it, I don't think there would be a movie. And of course, he's known for being the King of Queens and a lot of other things. But
one time, Gabe and I watched one episode of King of Queens, and we were dying laughing. And we're like, this is such a great show. How are we not watching the show? And my mother was like, you watched the best episode there ever was. And that was it. They're never going to be that funny again. And we're like, okay. So I don't think we even tried, but it was a great episode.
That's an awesome story.
And then I know Gabe has watched it, but Joe, have you watched the Opalite music video for Taylor Swift?
In full disclosure, I watched it because it was on the rundown for today's show.
Oh, go you.
Good. Homework.
Yeah.
Oh, you're such a good student, Joseph.
And I'm like, okay, you know what? She will go to any length just to get us to talk about Taylor Swift.
We can talk about rabies and drowning.
We got that.
Yeah.
But listen, what did you think of it, Joe?
It was cute. It makes me want to go out and get a pet rock.
Yeah, definitely very 80s.
I stopped watching halfway through. I got to be honest with you. I'm like, okay, click.
I get it.
Yeah.
So what was interesting about it was that the story behind it, and that's what took over the news, was the guy who's in it, who played Bill Weasley, is his name Donald Gleason. He's the Irish actor. He's the redhead in it, in the music video. He was on the Graham Norton show with Taylor Swift, and he made a comment about maybe like dancing in a Taylor Swift video. And they showed this video of her eyes like this light bulb moment. You could see it happening. So everyone who's a star in that video was on the couch that night on the Graham Norton show, which is a British evening talk show.
Yeah. Good show. Fun show.
So that she got all these celebrities to come out and do it. Cillian Murphy, Graham Norton, Donald Gleason, two other people, Greta Lee, and someone else, I forget the person's name. That I thought was really cool, and that was what I liked about it. The video itself is not my favorite. Just that she brought Louis Capaldi, she brought this disparate group of actors together, performers together.
Hey guys, we should totally do a music video, and they did.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. That's cool.
what I liked about it. It wasn't so much the video itself, because it was like a little too 90s and late 80s, and I was like, not really my thing, not my era, don't really like the fashion. But, I liked what she did there and brought everyone together. And, you got Greta Lee singing, Jodie Turner-Smith, I think, was doing the workout, and just really fun and really leaned into that campiness that she is sometimes known for.
Yeah. Also,
it was high camp for sure.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
I'm not trying to make you guys into Swifties, not at all.
Not going to happen, really. But God love her. She's a great success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a credit to her for always trying to do something a little different.
Yeah. And Joe, I think we saw earlier that you're repping Oddcast gear tonight.
I am, yes. Da, da, da. And you should too, wherever you go, no matter what you do. Sit around, drink some hot chocolate, coffee out of this. We got mugs, tumblers, magnets, hats. We got a bunch of other t-shirts. Mugs. I think I said that. We have a bunch of t-shirts with unique designs. We have a classic crewneck sweatshirt, a pullover hoodie, and a zip-up hoodie for the winter. And you can find all of that and maybe more at jersey-oddcast.printify.me.
Almost Valentine's Day. So I thought I'd make our poll this week about the romantic holiday coming up. So in true love, what is true love in New Jersey? Is it bringing coffee without being asked? Letting someone drive on Route 30 because, quite frankly, you got to have patience to drive on it? Sharing that light slice of pizza in the box? Or is it just agreeing and acquiescing that, hey, this is where South Jersey actually begins? What do you think true love in New Jersey really is?
A.
Bringing someone else a cup of coffee?
Yeah, because the other three can start wars. A.
Yeah.
A.
I think sharing the pizza is nice.
I agree.
It's nice. It's a nice gesture. It can start a war. I agree with Joe, but I think if you get that last piece of pizza and you say, instead of saying, do you mind if I have that? You say, hey, how about we split that? That's a whole different, but I do like the idea of getting coffee for someone without asking.
Yeah.
That's very gracious.
Yeah,
and caring.
yeah, because that shows that you were thinking about the number one. Number two, there's something sweet, no pun intended, about knowing how someone takes their coffee. So, like,
Yeah.
you show up with their coffee, whether you make it at home or whether you go to a store and you buy how many cream, how many sugar, or how many sweetener, whatever they get. It shows that you've been paying attention, and that little bit of what makes them happy is important to you. So, for me, it's definitely A. You show up and you know how I take my coffee. You've been paying attention to me, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
That's a nice thing.
I like someone who argues with me, so I would not want someone to agree with me about where South Jersey begins. I think I want to have that debate to the end of time. I don't drink coffee, so that one's out for me. It's definitely the pizza thing. Again, like Gabe said, it's not, hey, do you mind if I have the last slice? It's like, hey, let's split that.
Oh,
You know what I mean,
well.
because you're sharing
And
your life, you're sharing a pizza. I mean, I think
we have been known to do that, haven't we, Gina?
we do. We share everything.
I don't know
So
about that.
it's one.
We certainly share an oddcast with Joe, so that's nice.
Joe's our buffer.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. But
Yeah.
if there were, hey Joe, if there was any other pizza left over, I'm sure Gina and I would share it with you too,
I
And
appreciate that.
Fenway.
and Fenway.
Yeah.
But we don't feed Fenway much from the table. So
No, we don't.
that's funny.
I was driving up Wiltsey's Mill Road the other day and I passed our friends at United Roll Off, gave them a little wave. Not sure they saw me, but always happy to do it.
United Roll Off, Gina. If you're looking for fast, reliable dumpster service, call United Roll Off Service and Recycling LLC. Family owned by the Grasso family and proudly serving South Jersey since 1999. 3 generations strong, United Roll Off is your local solution for household cleanouts, construction debris, concrete, and yard waste with 11, 20, and 30-yard dumpsters ready when you need them. Serving Hammonton and all of Atlantic, Burlington, Camden, Cumberland, and Gloucester counties, they've got the size, service, and local touch you can trust. Visit them at 735 Wiltsey's Mill Road, Hammonton, or call 609 561 8287 to get started today. United Roll Off, local, loyal, and ready to haul.
Thank you. On February 15th, 1846, a massive three-masted ship called the John Minturn sank in a brutal winter gale just off Mantoloking in Ocean County. It had sailed from New Orleans to New York carrying $80,000 worth of goods. That's about $2.8 million in 2026 bucks. And 51 people
Wow.
on board. Only 13 people survived. The tragedy shocked the nation and exposed how unprepared the U.S. was to rescue shipwreck victims along its coast. That disaster directly led to the creation of the United States Life Saving Service, which would eventually evolve into the United States Coast Guard. So, yeah, South Jersey weather didn't just make headlines, it helped create the Coast Guard. Just thought that would be your Oddcast Odd Fact for the week.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, I was entirely unaware of that.
This is what a Google search and interweb told me, so hopefully it's true.
Yeah.
And the Coast Guard's based, right, in Cape May?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And it's interesting because there's life-saving stations that still exist, the buildings, which would have been the precursor to it. So there's some history there.
Yeah.
Joe, the past week has been brutally cold. The last couple days maybe a little better, but the weekend was horrendous.
Oh, that's being polite. I can think of a lot of non-family friendly words to describe the
Colorful
weekend.
adjectives, Joe.
Yes.
So where are we going with this weather?
Since you asked, it sounds like it is time for the Oddcast forecast, according to the app on my smartphone, and sponsored by Ben Castone Landscaping. Call Ben Castone for all your landscaping needs at 609-561-3452. They're here to keep your yard looking great no matter what the season. And at least in the next 3 days, it is not going to be nearly as disrespectful as it was this past weekend. It's going to be an intervals of clouds and sun Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wednesday, we're looking at a high of around 45 and a low of 27. That'll be nice. Thursday, we're looking at about a high of 37 and a low of 21. And Friday, we're looking at a high of 37 again and a low of 18. So the lows are still going to get low, but that happens this time of year, especially if you have clear skies at night, so all the heat can escape. But at least we're going to be getting out of this single-digit nonsense for a little bit.
Good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. We were in New York over the weekend. It was
Bitter.
Yeah.
Bitter cold.
And it made us bitter.
I'm sure.
It did.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
more bitter than usual.
Just like Gabe's coffee.
Oh.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of the Jersey Oddcast. We appreciate Caitlin Collins in joining us. If you want to learn more about the Jersey Oddcast, please give us a call at 609-444-6178. Give us a view at jerseyoddcast.com or shoot us an email, jerseyoddcast@gmail.com, or find us online, your favorite podcast streaming services, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, and of course, TikTok. We'll be back next week with more chaos, commentary, and community because someone's got to do it. See you later.
So long.
Have a great week, oddballs.